Good evening, everyone out there in YouTube and Facebook land. Welcome to Ashford, Garley live here on Bridge Radio Africa, coming your way this evening, Friday, February 26, 2021, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. My name is Volcano Shelton. I'll be with you here for a little over an hour this evening on the program. Ashford Garley is not in the house tonight, as he said that he will be away for a week. Hopefully we'll get him back somewhere in the mid of next week because we have another program coming up on Monday with a Dr. Peter Vulele, and we'll be discussing something very important, but I will talk about that later on in the show. But I want to welcome all of you, our folks out there, wherever you are. It's not a good day for us because the broadcast was centered around the death of the 8 folks who died, believe yesterday during the course of the morning hours into actually Wednesday into Thursday morning. And you saw it all over, the news. 8 people died, and there's a lot of suspicions around the death, whether it's carbon monoxide poisoning as a result of the use of generator in the home, or whether people were poisoned through witchcraft means because it was a party and so forth. So, it's all over the place. So we wanted to dedicate tonight to the discussion to discuss this because it's a very important issue. As you and I know, most of these third world countries, so many things happen and people attribute it to so many conspiracy theories. So if you just joining us, we want to thank you for coming on. I see Weirdo, Martha Doki, Jack Murch, and John Wade. Invite a friend, share the video, share the link as well. Grab something, like my buddy always says, preferably a popcorn, some kind of drink, and let's sit around to discuss this tonight. The lines will be open. You're calling and chiming in and give your opinion and your suggestion as well as to how we can, kind of improve things in Liberia, because it's critical for us. Quickly, I want to say thank you to Top FM in Zwedru, Grand Jita County, 105.3. I also want to say thank you to Joy FM 101.5 and Live FM 104.1 out there. To our viewers and listeners in Australia, in Asia, in Europe, in Africa, particularly the sub-region, we say welcome tonight. We want to encourage you to continue to like us on Facebook. Follow us on YouTube as well. We simultaneously broadcast this program once we're live, and you can also catch our repeat, which adds up to our following. So share the production. We appreciate it. Again, Ashford, wherever you are tonight, I want to wish you well. I hope everything is going well behind the scenes. I know you're working in the interest of this platform. So we're hoping that in the not too distant future, we can go further than where we are. And so we want to encourage you, our listeners and our viewers, to continue to support us here on Bridge Radio Africa, Ashford, Garley Live. I did tell you that at some point going on, we will introduce some new programming. So we have newer breeds of journalists who will be coming in with different segment of programs, but we'll be doing this in the coming months. Not very sure yet as to when, but it's on the horizon, and we'll be encouraging you to continue to pay, attention to what we do. Two-way Troy, welcome. Emmanuel Jackson, again, welcome. Don Gerald Newman, Mapla Sia Nikia, welcome. Good evening to all of you folks out there in Facebook and YouTube land. Well, again, as I said, it was all over the news yesterday. 8 people died from carbon monoxide poisoning around the GSA Road area, somewhere behind the Samuel Kaindo Sports Complex. It is said the area is called Coal Tar Field. Now, when I was born and grew up on GSA Road, I didn't know a place called Coal Tar Field. I'm wondering if it's around the Zina Hill area where Pototori used to be. And, back then, Pototori was the asphalt company that had the asphalt, what we'll call the coal tar, that was used to pave the roads. So there was a lot of spill in that area. So I'm not sure if that's the area now they have named coal tar field. But yes, accordingly, it was the area, um, where a lady by the name of Miss Miller graduated from the University of Liberia. Got her bachelor's degree in accounting, a BBA, and had a small party to celebrate with friends and families. And unfortunately, 8 of them went to bed, had the generator on in the kitchen, um, and accordingly, by 10 in the morning, the generator was still beating. And she, being an early bird, gets up early in the morning, uh, has not woken up yet, and so the neighbors were concerned. And the guy who accordingly used his equipment to meaning the DJ equipment, went by to get his equipment, and the door was still locked. So the young man who usually takes care of things came, and he opened the door, and it was a sight to see. Everyone uh, was apparently dead, and to call, the ambulance, the police, when they all got there, 8 people. The story is kind of all over the place, but it was said at 3 meals. Then somebody said 2 meals, but then again, we'll go with 3 meals because the guy who said it was 3 meals was one of the neighbors by the name of Jefferson Lackey. And accordingly, Miss Miller, mother herself, and another lady, and two young little girls, one by the name of Favor and the other one, I think, Seba, were the ones who died in the fire. Her brother-in-law and another and 2 other guys. If anyone knows anything different, we appreciate if you can, just post it. Um, but yeah, so that was the story, and but now there's a mixed perception around the whole thing. People are saying that yes, I did say the graduate died, and the graduate is Miss Miller. People are saying that the lady and the folks might have been poisoned, because there's a mindset that people don't like to see people do well. And the fact that she graduated, I don't know if you kill somebody who graduated, what good it does for you. You're not going to get the person degree, and you're not going to, you know, you know, take their space. So it is a sad thing to say that it will people will want to go and kill 8 people through witchcraft means. What would it be, for jealousy? Somebody spend years in the way how to graduate from LU already. Then you say in accounting. Then this woman will graduate, spend years, trying to study, and all of a sudden somebody just come from nowhere, family member will be that jealous to kill them. But let's come back to the drawing board here. Carbon monoxide is a very dangerous uh, poisoning that is derived from fuel, especially gasoline when it's burning. It is said that it's an odorless, colorless gas that can cause disorientation, sudden illness, and or death. Often called a silent or invisible killer, the deadly gas often goes undetected, striking victims who are caught off guard or succumb in their sleep. You hear that? It is usually caused, uh, when it takes effect. It's oftentimes when people are in their sleep. Okay, and it goes undetected because it's odorless, colorless. It doesn't have color to say, oh, I see the green thing coming in my area. What about green thing here coming, vaporizing toward me? So it's more like nothing, and you barely can smell it. It's just fumes. It's not like the diesel where you smell a car burning around you, like the old big trucks and where people coming in the market area, and you smell the diesel when it go vroom 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 and all that smoke come, you inhale it. This is not the case. This is a complete different case. Okay, and so the early signs of CO poisoning include headache, dizziness, fatigue, shortness of breath, and nausea. In this case, they were in their sleep, and apparently it disoriented them, it caused them to be weakened, because accordingly, some people may have tried accordingly. Some people may have tried to go to the door, to open the door or the generator to turn it off, but it did not make it. Because according to what I saw on the video, one of the persons was found in the hallway leading toward the kitchen. So apparently that person, being disoriented, could not make it that far. The other guys were found in the living room. One was on the mattress, one was on the ground, accordingly. So this is what carbon monoxide does. But I'll take you back into time. Let's go back to the story of the couple that came or left from the US and went to Liberia. If you recall, Mr. Gross and his wife, they had gone to Liberia to celebrate the wedding anniversary. The story, I took it up from Front Page Africa. This took place on December 25th, 2016. If you all remember, and it happened in the Chocolate City area at a residence outside of Monrovia. And it was construed that they died from asphyxiation secondary to carbon monoxide. A family source informed Front Page Africa that they were informed by the doctor who did the autopsy, a Nigerian doctor. He was an anatomical pathologist by the name of Christopher Obiora, who conducted the autopsy on the couple, on their remains, Lawrence and Shelley Gross. If you remember this story, when they were discovered, accordingly, they had swollen brains, which is consistent with carbon monoxide inhalation. So they inhale carbon monoxide, okay, and they end up dying. So corroborating the autopsy report, it was said that the source was a 1.5 kVA Rowan gasoline generator, which was placed in the garage of the house to provide electricity for an air conditioner that was being installed in the guest room of the house where the Gross stayed. According to the police source, the garage in which the generator was placed did not have an opening for the smoke to exit, and as a result, the smoke just kept circulating, seeping its way through the corridors of the ceiling all over the house, and it went into the bedroom. So the poisonous gas was concentrated in the deceased room, meaning the couple, which was faced directly across the hallway where the inner door to the garage is located. So that room was more susceptible to where the carbon monoxide was evaporating from. Okay, and so it went directly to the door. The sad thing that was that there was no exhaust pipe connected to the generator for the smoke to exit the building. The house's windows were airtight, so that ventilation was very poor in the house. So remember now, they put a generator on to provide electricity for the air conditioner for Mr. and Mrs. Gross, who were in the house. When air conditioner is on, what do? My people, y'all tell me. We close the windows so it prevents circulation of air going out and coming in, because we want to contain the cold in the room, right? So then if you have that mixed with carbon monoxide fumes coming in, and you enjoying that cold air, the reluctance to even wake up because you can't smell it, you can't taste it, it's colorless, the potential for you to just lie there and enjoy yourself and doze off to sleep would make it even dangerous. Okay? And this might have happened in the case of the Grosses who left from Minnesota. That's just one story I'm trying to give you, push you back a little bit so we can remember that this is not a new phenomenon, all right, in Liberia. The next story took place right here in Waco, Texas. So I'm just trying to tell people here tonight who always attribute everything to witchcraft. We're quick to run with that. It happened in America. A Houston woman and a baby girl, at the age of 8, both died as a result of carbon monoxide poisoning after a car was left running in a garage to help generate heat in the Houston, Texas home on Tuesday, February 16. And this is because of all the storm that shut down the electricity in Texas, and people, were out of electricity to heat their homes. And this woman went in the garage because apparently it was very, very cold. She went in the garage, turned on the car in the insulated garage, the exhaust letting out the emission, the carbon monoxide, but it doesn't have nowhere to go, and it's circulating. Okay? A man and a 7-year-old boy were inside the house, but they were in critical condition. Apparently, where they were, the part of the house they were, was apparently far from um, the garage where the car was running, with a woman and a child inside the car. And so they were transported to the hospital on critical list because they had suffered a lot of inhalation of carbon monoxide. Vehicles related CO tragedies occurred in America when cars left running inside garages of a home, or if the tailpipe of the vehicle becomes clogged by snow, ice, or debris. Additionally, mechanical problems can cause CO to leak into the cabin of the vehicle. And then I will come to the story of Gifty Lama and Abel Peters, where the autopsy report read by Justice Minister Musa Dean said that they died of CO poisoning, and that some of the CO kind of seeped through the defective body of the car, went through the car. And this story in America is saying that this is possible, that CO can leak into the cabin of the car, especially if the car has, cracks, rust, creating some damage and stuff. They're on a carrier. So the Center of Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, say more than 400 people die in the United States each year due to unintentional, non-fire related CO poisoning, many of which are vehicle related. And the reason why it's vehicle related is that because a lot of people don't use generators here. So imagine if a lot of people were using generators here. How many times haven't you seen it? I don't have the story very right, but I remember 2 Liberian young men died in a vehicle. I think it was in a winter some time ago in Maryland, the state of Maryland. If anyone remember that story, you can talk about it. I mean, you can text me. But it happened in Maryland. 2 young Liberians, they died in a vehicle. They had the vehicle running and fell asleep, and they died from carbon monoxide poisoning. So this is not a new phenomenon. This is not a new phenomenon. So as I was saying, as reported by Justice Minister Musa Dean, the autopsy conducted by Liberia's only 2 pathologists, Dr. Coley and Pate, have been credible from the start, as the family were given the opportunity to participate along with civil society organizations, National Commission on Human Rights, and in the media, a request that the family denied it, they didn't want or rejected, they didn't want to be a part of it. But according to the findings, it was reported that uh, tomographic scan shows mild purification of the brain and mild autolysis of the soft tissue, but there is no fracture or dislocation, no metallic density or foreign body. So what they're saying here, accordingly, by the Justice Minister Musa Din regarding the death of Gifty Lama and that of Abba Peters, and they said this, the autopsy report was credible, very credible, that they didn't see any foul play in terms of physical, blunt object, tampering with the bodies of the two, but what they found was uh, relatable to that of carbon monoxide poisoning. If you recall, the folks' cars were parked on Broad Street for more than 24 hours. And accordingly, two of them were in the car. And we all know the story. Why it is true that there's a lot of conspiracy theories around it. A lot of people have different opinion, but this is what the report says. And so they said the cause of death was related to carbon monoxide poisoning exacerbated by gasoline, hydrocarbon fumes, and fumes from defective car exhaust system and defect in the floor of the car. And that is similar to what I'm talking about here with the Texas case and what the CDC reports of. More than 400 people die every year as a result of carbon monoxide poisoning. And they talk about some of the ways these things happen. According to the police investigation, cited in the autopsy report, Gifty and Abba drove separate vehicles to meet on Broad Street opposite the Sacred Heart Cathedral edifice before she could disembark hers to enter Abba's parked vehicle. Okay? So that is something I just thought of throwing that as it tied in with the theory that when the car is defective, the owner carrier, so many things can happen. And imagine when you're driving sometimes, like today I was driving, brand new car. My car is less than 25,000 miles. And I'm driving and I just smell this gush of gasoline. Where is it coming from? And that happens with any car. So what I immediately did, brought all my windows down, even though it was cold, but I wanted to, get that clear out of the car. So things happen. And that's why we need to be, careful. We need to pay attention to our surroundings. We need to check our carbon monoxide, low carbon monoxide machines, detectors we have in the house. I need to go get me one tomorrow, because with something like this, especially for us who are running our heat on gas and our stove on gas, it is important for us to make sure we check these things. Very, very important. Very important. So this is not a new situation. I'll take you back to another story. I was reading by a guy called James Harding Gayu from Front Page Africa, and it was called by the New Narratives. It said that Liberians' health generators car posing dangers to residents. That was the story back then. Two men, if you recall again, it was Vani Saju and Jusu Vani. They spent the night in the office of GMT Fishery in the Bone Mines Bridge community outside of Monrovia. Both men were guiding the company's properties. And on that fateful night, Saju brought with him his girlfriend, Gamen Howard. They put on a generator, took it indoors with them, and locked the doors. They would never wake up again. The next morning, when the owners of the fishery came, they could not open the doors, so they called the police. But then the crowd has piled everywhere along the roadside, including residents of New Crew Town community, where the two men lived. When the door was finally opened or broken, onlookers beheld were awed by the sight of three of them. Fanny had already died, while Saju and Howard died later at the Redemption Hospital. They were victims of carbon monoxide poisoning. So you see, this is not a new phenomenon to Liberia. And accordingly, a lot of people have died since the war, and we started using generators in our country. That little thing called Tiger. We take Tiger to be our best friend because it's so portable. We bring it with us in the house, put it in one little corner. That's what Tiger be beating. We need to get light on. But that Tiger are the one that so quietly gonna kill you, you know. And sometimes when I want to kill you from carbon monoxide poisoning, but from electrical shocks, fire, and all those things. So the report said that more than 10 people died from carbon monoxide poisoning in and around Monrovia just in the time frame of 2005 to 2006. And this was a report that came from the Liberia National Police, and that included 3 women in the Logan Town community. In 2005, 2 other women in the Bonja community on the Robertsfield Highway died, and in 2008. So most people use generators in their homes, forgetting to know the danger behind it, says Jerry Wama, who was the chief of operation of the Liberia National Police Force Crimes Against Poison, Poisons Division. So all the sensitization they did, it was difficult for people to really pay attention. He was very clear that the Tiger Brain generator in the Bone Mines Breach carbon monoxide tragedy had 4 clear warnings. So you see, Liberian people don't read. They don't read. Listen, the Tiger generator or generators have clear warnings. Just like any equipment that is created, they say that they put the warning signs there for danger or whatever it is. It says on the generator, no use in house. Never use the generator in the house. No use in wet condition. You can't see water around on the floor, then you set the generator there, slippery area, slippery floor or wet floor. Okay? When refilling, stop the engine. But the listeners of some of the people, the generator will be beating, they'll open it, then they say they're filling it up. What if fire sparks? Everything written clear on the generator. Do not carry in the house. Do not use it on wet floor or wet surroundings. Do not refill it while it's running. And keep flammable objects away. Keep flammable objects away. Can you imagine somebody coming holding candle around a generator to light it? You don't believe that? People would do that kind of stupidness. Hold candle around the generator to light it, rather than use a flashlight. Because we don't think quick. Every little thing we just do it randomly. Like men just care less. And as soon as something happens, oh, that wish. Oh, the people kill the people, oh, that wish. When all the warning signs on the generator, do not take it in the house and use it in the house. Some of people, this is what's happening. So how much of the awareness? We have other issues with mask wearing. They don't want to wear the mask. They say, oh, no Ebola in Liberia. Oh, no, what is it? COVID in Liberia. So nobody takes anything seriously until a major tragedy takes place. And then we want to, say somebody did it or it's a foul play. But it went on to say some of the reasons why people take these risks is that in a country where people must protect even the light bulbs from thieves, it is possible to overemphasize securing one's generator. So pay attention to this. Every time I go Liberia, I buy labor. I put it on side. I say because I want to labor around the place. In the morning, labor gone. All labor gone. Labor at $200 or not $250. Labor take, which could be probably $2. But all the labor's gone because people will steal the labor. Some people now, in fact, creating iron bar over labor. They're making iron bar. They're making the little cage with iron to put it over the light bulb. Can you imagine that? How did this country get to the point where people steal everything? I mean, so rogues. From bottom to top, so rogues. It is a shame. There is no moral compass in the country. Nobody have morality. If somebody there, okay, then maybe they only 10 out of 5 million. 10 out of 5 million. You stealing simple light bulb from your neighbor house. I tell you a story too. Pot on the fire with boiling water. The man emptied the pot. Big Madingo pie, empty the pot. Where's the hot coal on the ground? Carry the pot in the coal pot. Broad day. Hot pot, hot coal pot. Carry it. Where he carrying it? Straight to red light. Go sell it there. Just so he can get his drugs. So we understand that's why people are taking risks in Liberia with their lives when it comes to this generator thing. You know, because if the simple light bulb they can steal it, then what else they will not steal? So needless to say, the whole generator, you can imagine how serious that would be. The late generator we not pay $300 to $500 for, well probably you not save that money for more than I don't know how many years. Then somebody can carry it. You know, part of the story, according to this document, that they come with their own wires. Okay, they come with a wire, long wire, like from maybe 100 feet, 200 feet wire. They bring the wire, they feed our line of the generator to the house. They'll pull it quick. By that time the generator eye blink, then the people will say, oh, let one go. Then they plug it right back. Then the light come on. Then they start carrying the generator. They carrying the generator beating in the hand, they carrying it. When they not go about 100, 200 feet, then they take the wire off. Then they're going with the generator. By the time you come outside, you can't find the people because 100, 200, 300 feet are long distance, especially between houses. The generator gone. The generator gone. So that's why people take the risk of going through this. But is the risk worth it? Is it worth it? It is not worth it for your life. It is not worth it for your life. There are many other ways you can do things. Charge your little battery. Get some 12-volt fan. Get some 12-volt fluorescent lights. Use it in the house. Put a generator on. Charge the battery. Do that. And when you go into bed, if you put a generator on for at least 2 hours up to midnight, you turn the generator off. Because in the scheme of war, when there's war, what do you need generator at? So at this time, why kill yourself just because you want light? This light thing we've been behind it since 1820. Is it 1822? Okay, 1822 started Liberia. I always say 1822. We've been behind light. We still don't get light consistently since 1822. But I'll put it back to 1847. Let me fast forward. Since independence, we've never had consistent electricity. As small as Monrovia and its surrounding is, we have never been able to feed that little place. Never. And the people like light Benajera to say, if they didn't see light, then life will not go on. You know? So it's a sad story, but these are some of the attributed issues regarding what happened just day before yesterday into yesterday. And people can't always run with speculations that people have played witchcraft, poisoning and this and that. Now, we're not going to rule that out, but the evidence are there. This generator was still beating at 10 o'clock in the morning, my people. 10 o'clock broad morning. This generator was still beating and everybody were dead. So tell me now. Tell me. Now one person was awake. The generator was still beating. And you still say that's not carbon monoxide poison? When the people went in the house, they could smell the tightness in the air. It was almost unbreathable because you read it, 8 people. It's a lot of people. It's a sad, sad thing. So before I continue, I would like for us to have a moment of silence for all of those who died. In the next, a moment of silence, and then we'll open the line so we can hear from some of you as we continue tonight. Thank you. May the soul rest in peace. I'm going to post the number now so that you folks can begin to call. So this is the number to call, 404-272-2808. Call so we can talk. We appreciate it. If you're just joining us, this is Ashford Garley Live here on Bridge Radio Africa. Ashford is not in today, but we're trying to, hold down the fort, as I said. The discussion is around carbon monoxide poisoning in Liberia, the death of the 8 people who died, and also people who have died from similar circumstance. And we just wanted to throw light on this. It's a sad day for our country. Lately, so many deaths. People went through the war, the struggle. This woman fought hard to, go to school and graduate from college. I'm sure that she was optimistic of the future. It was bright. Whether it was bright or not, the fact that she had a degree in accounting, there was a possibility that she would have gotten something to do. You don't find many women going down that route, and so she must have had put a lot into it, and accordingly, she didn't get to see the next day after graduating and telling God, "Thank you for this long journey," and that was it. So calling 404-272-2808. I want to hear from some of you tonight. I see you throwing your chats in, but come on, let's talk. It's a sad thing, Who is responsible? As one of the questions we're going to answer. Who is responsible and what is responsible? We want to thank Top FM in Zoedru Grangita County. I have a caller calling now. Let me bring this caller in. Caller from a 7611 number. Are you there?
Yes, sir. How you doing, Bukendo? This is Walu, man. What's up, brother?
Hey, my man. How you doing? I owe you. I will call you. Okay.
No, we'll talk, brother.
Yeah.
But this is a sad thing. I called because I was nearly a victim of that. When I first went back home in 2007, stopping with my uncle, they had a 5 kV generator, and this thing locked it in the middle of the night. I ended up waking up with my tongue very heavy in my mouth. We had the generator in the kitchen, and they took this wet towel and they put it under the door to make sure the film doesn't come in. And fortunately, we were able to wake up in the middle of the night, and we bore a hole through the wall and run the pipe through. But even with that, the heat from that, because the carbon monoxide doesn't just go in one direction; it spreads all over. It's a serious issue. But the reason why I'm calling tonight, this is not the first time this is happening in Liberia. This is very constant. Now, and one thing I proposed at the time when I had that experience, we call a few shows. So listen, the legislature has to do something, and this is what I was recommending. If you're going to purchase a generator, there should be some inspection as to where you're going to place this generator at your house. I know it's a massive skill thing to do, but people will keep taking these generators in because they get stolen. You must have a storage facility away from where people sleep to make sure these things run properly. Um, but people keep putting them in the homes, and then sometimes it's understandable why these things go in the homes. But just imagine it lies that could have been avoided.
Yeah.
And at first I thought it may be food poisoning because sometimes maybe the food stays outside. It's a big party, but then
Mhm.
when you think about it again, not to be so cynical, but our stomach is so strong, food poisoning will not just carry so many people at once. And the only
Yeah.
thing left
Mhm.
is the carbon monoxide poisoning. But it's a serious thing. Something has to be done about it, especially with the generator. This should be even more reason for to push the LEC to increase its output in terms of electricity because it's killing our people. It's killing our people. This
Thank you,
girl
Garley.
committed so much resources to educating herself. Now here we are. It's like all went to waste.
Thank you.
Somebody don't know.
Yeah.
It's
Thank you.
pitiful, man. Just
Thank you.
listening to the story,
All right.
it
Thank
just
you.
bothers
Let
the
me
heck
go
out
to
of
the
me. Thank
next
you so much,
caller.
brother.
All right.
Okay.
Let me go to the next caller. Caller from a 6535 number. Where you calling from and what's your name?
Hi, Volcano. My name is Terry Bodnar, calling from Minnesota.
Welcome,
How you doing
welcome,
today,
man.
sir?
How you doing tonight?
I'm good, thank you.
And I
Thanks
want
for the program.
I also want to warn you quick. Make sure you check your carbon monoxide detector. All right, in your home.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Great advice. Thank
Yeah.
you. I appreciate it.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So, it's a very sad story. First of all, peace be to the ashes of those that lost their life. But again, I was in Liberia like 3 years ago. You know, I know what it is to have a generator outside and like the story you're giving. But again, as you said, it ain't worth it. Life is more precious than a thief taking a generator. But there are so many angles we could talk about this issue from Bocano.
Hmm.
Um, these are some of the awareness because when I was in Liberia back then as a young media practitioner, I worked with LBS before I came so on a TV program called Lunchtime Fiesta, and I carried a lot of educative programs before coming to the United States. And just a little sidetrack, people like you kind of when I was in high school back in the 90s, you people show us the way of broadcasting. So you are one of my mentors, and you people, that's another story for another day.
All right. Thank you.
But
Thank
for
you for the
Carlo,
acknowledgement.
yeah. But the point is, a country like ours, they have got bad electricity power for the citizenry. I don't want to get political about this, but trust me, Vulcano, if the LEC were a little bit effective or current with power,
Yeah, a
people
lot
will
of
not
these
be using
things would have been
generator.
avoided.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, 8 persons dying in one house,
Yeah.
that's a, that's a tragedy.
All
It's a
right. I have
tragedy.
another call on
And
the line. Let me go to that caller quick before I lose the caller. You done? You want 30 seconds?
yes, sir. Okay,
Oh,
so yeah, so we just want to say thanks for the show, big brother, and a shout out to you guys for doing a good job. But again, you carbon monoxide attacks the lungs, especially when you're sleeping. You inhale it, you're done. So people should be careful. Even when really listening, don't keep generator in a tight space. Thank you.
thank you. Let's go to the line 5909. Are you there? Caller from a 5909 number 720. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm calling from 720. I'm here. I'm here.
Yeah. All right. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Calling 720 number. I'm calling from Denver, Colorado.
All right. What's your name?
My name is Vadi Cooper.
Welcome to the show. You've been following the discussion. What do you think? What's your contribution?
Well, I've been listening to these guys for a matter of fact, Ashford myself. I've been a schoolmate for my. But it's a sad situation in our country. It's not a first time. uh, abandonment, it's stuff there, people dying from carbon monoxide. This time, we as Africans, we need to Africans, it's a serious issue that we have to see when it comes to generation because there's no uh, power in the entire country. The sad situation and people continue to live over these problems. Just like the first quarter I alluded to earlier, legislation or our government official in our country need to push for power or the country. They need to recognize so these kind of
Hello, caller.
yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah, go ahead. Wrap up now. 15 seconds. I got another call.
So I think what the people need to do, just like they call the first to regulate the scale of business.
All right.
The
Thank you.
government needs to have a regulation.
Thank
Have
you.
to have people inspecting. They have to make the where the generator be placed in the rooms of the that are purchasing it.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. 5599. Caller, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Yes.
What's your name? Where you calling from?
Well, my name is Tifos Dolo. I'm calling from North Dakota.
All right. You have a minute.
I'm
Come
from
in
North
quick.
Dakota. Yeah, I'm just trying to make a little injection.
Yeah, go ahead now. You know you got a minute. You need to start
Right.
injecting.
Well, I don't know whether there's any way that a lot of the apartment buildings that they are renting, whether there's any other little, policies and procedures that they put down, towards generator. So, I know this apartment will rent it.
Yeah. All right. That's a good
Yeah.
thought. I will emphasize that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
Caller from a 9813. Are you there? Caller from a 9813 323. Are you there? All right. Okay. So there you go. Okay, another caller is calling. Uh Caller from a
Hello.
4688. Welcome.
Yeah, hi, Mr. Shelton. This is Moses Sandy. I'm calling from Delaware.
Hey Moses, how you doing, my man? Welcome to the show. You been following?
Good. Yeah, I've been following, and I want to say thanks for the education. What you're doing is very, very informative and educative as well. I just want to contribute to the discussion briefly.
Go ahead.
Um,
Since
you
since you
know,
since
I,
you since you one of our partners, I gave you 2 minutes. Go ahead.
yeah, thank you. But what I want to say, the situation back home is extremely high. People dying as a result of inhalation. It's a very sad situation. I'm sure you will agree with me that prior to the Civil War, the prevalence of people dying from such a situation was very low. But in today's Liberia, uh, several Liberians have died as a result of carbon monoxide inhalation. So it's a situation that I think what is happening in our country is a byproduct of the Civil War. You know, and, many people today uh, have in their homes the quote unquote tiger generator, these mini generators, as a means of producing electricity. And because of the crime rate in the country, which is also attributable to the extreme poverty and people coming from 40 years of civil war, the poor today, also not being educated about the danger associated with keeping generators in their homes while the generators are also
But
in
Moses,
active mode.
Moses, I don't think is the issue of not being educated. I think it's the issue of the fear that the property will be stolen. That's the reason,
Yeah,
and that's one of the major reasons in the country. If they're gonna steal the light bulb from around the house, what are you gonna do with a generator, my brother?
I was just about to talk about that because when I heard you say that people are literally stealing light bulbs in the country, it tells you the level of desperation. If you can steal a light bulb, then what's about a Tiger generator? It's a very sad situation. So the poor wanting to protect the little they have, they take the risks. And again, I was also saying, this has to do with education because most of our people are functionally illiterate. They don't know the danger associated with operating the generator in a closed environment. And so most people are dying. It's a real sad situation. And I hope that our political leaders, this cannot be legislated, but I hope our political leaders will take on the campaign where people will go into the communities to really educate our people about the danger associated with keeping generators in the homes while at the same time the generators, are in operational mode.
Thank
That
you.
would be my conclusion. Yes.
Thank you. I have another caller. Thank you, Mo. Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you so much.
So,
Caller, are you there? 4368. Are you there?
Yes, Mr. Shelton, good evening.
Thanks for being patient. Welcome. What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Yvonne. I'm calling from Maryland.
Yeah, welcome to the program. You've been following. What's your contribution?
Thank you. Yeah, for me, I'm going to be a little bit political tonight. And I'm also just disheartened the way our citizens continue to die in this tragedy when they start to have a monoxide. But you see, like, it's just a tragic story, and it will come to the point where it's just boring and tired.
Go ahead. We're listening to you.
Hello?
So, healthcare. Why can a national leader come to the stage where they can tackle one area of life to improve it so that the citizen can benefit it so that we cannot continue to have this kind of tragedy? It is just so sad and it's frustrating. And I must applaud you, people like you, Yasini, that continue to create awareness of this country. I don't know when this country will become the country that we all can be proud of. It is just sad and sickly. And it's frustrating. And I just want to say thank you for the great job you're continuing to do. Because I can do it. I don't have that kind of strength to continue with Liberia's tragic story. It's hard.
Thank
So I
you.
just want to say thank you.
Thank you too. We appreciate it. Continue to listen to Bridge Radio Africa. All right.
Thank you.
We continue
All
to
right.
enlighten our people. Thank you. Caller, are you there? From a 4368. Are you there?
Hello?
Yes, caller, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good.
Yes,
What's your
from
name? Where you calling from?
From 617? 617?
Go ahead. Where you calling from?
Yes, I'm calling from Boston, Massachusetts.
Go ahead.
Emmanuel? Yeah. Yeah. Shelton, just some kind of history. There was certain criterion that the United Nations and other organizations said that we as Liberians should expect after the Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
And that one of the crucial things would be our life expectancy. And our life expectancy will include the energy policy we put in place to develop electricity. Now, just imagine this is a young person who just graduated from university, and her life expectancy fell within, I think, the same range that the people said, our country will experience.
Mm.
So, yeah. So what we need, we need a government that will put a rigorous program in place to improve the electricity in the country. Because if we don't do that, this private generator thing will continue to take depth. Like you talked about Mr. Gross. I knew Mr. Lawrence Gross from Cape Mount. He and his wife died from that situation. And like you said, from 2000, I think 15 or 5 or what, many people have been dying from these things.
So this is an issue the government should take seriously and try to move as quick as they can to end this private generation of electricity and try to see electricity as a necessity and not a privilege.
Thank you.
You
Thank
know,
you. Thank you.
yeah.
I have another caller on the line. Caller, are you still there? Caller, are you there? Caller, I can hear you. Are you there?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Oh, my name is Morris Zizi. Yeah,
Yeah, you on live.
yeah.
I said you are on live.
Oh, my name is Morris Zizi. I'm calling from Minnesota.
Yes, go ahead. Make your contribution.
Yeah, I think I have.
Caller, you are you gonna say something or not?
Yeah, I have two suggestions. I can say. I think one thing the government can do is. Yeah, hello.
You are on live. You're listening to the radio. That's the problem. Go ahead and talk.
Awareness.
All right. The caller is trying to listen to himself at the same time try to talk. It's not possible. You got to lower your monitor when you call because you're talking to me in live. So you cannot try to listen to the radio at the same time trying to talk or the television, whatever your gadget is. You can be in two places. That's why he keeps pausing because when he hears himself, he gets confused as to what he wants to say. I will hope that when you call in, you will lower your monitor so that you can have that conversation. Then turn your monitor off when you're no longer with us. If you're just joining us, this is Breach Radio Africa. The program is Ashford Garley Live here on Facebook and YouTube. My name is Volcano Shelton. I'm the co-host of the program. I want to encourage all of you tonight to continue to be a part of the production. Always invite a friend, share our page, like us, follow us. We appreciate it. Um, don't be selfish. Don't be stingy. What Bridge Radio Africa is about, it is a platform where we enlighten our people on good governance, on the ills in society, because what all of this is about is to help shape our country. And it's not all the time about politics. Oftentimes, people tend to think that when we bring these kinds of issues up, it has to do with politics, whose government is better, whose government is not better. No, no. This is a national issue. 8 people died. 8 people. Let me go to the line quick. This caller is persistent. Caller, are you there?
Yeah, hi. My name is Morris Zizi.
Okay, now you're good. All right, go ahead and make your two suggestions quick.
Yeah, I think like one thing like the government got to make awareness. And not only the government alone, but people that have radio stations and intellectual centers, and maybe another thing too, like they can make it part of the curriculum so they can teach it in the school too, because a lot of people go to school so that way people can be aware. And another thing is like I think if you make it mandatory, like the way it's done in the US, every house has like carbon monoxide and uh smoke detector in the houses. It could be one thing too. We can do the same thing in Liberia, to save our people too, and to educate our people. So that's something I was thinking about today. I said, since we have the same thing in the US and in other developed countries, the government can copy the same thing too. Like every house in Liberia can have the same thing too. So you know,
Thank you. Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you, Mr. Zeze. So again, as I was saying, so this is not a politicizing anything. It's just about a national issue where a lot of people died. We'll open the lines again. So callers, just pause a little bit. We want to continue with the discussion. But the truth here is um, awareness have been created. As I said, this issue is not new. It is not new. A lot of Liberians have died as a result of carbon monoxide poisoning over time. Since generator became prevalent in the country, the use of generator, and especially the Chinese people now, they're making a generator all kinds of way. You know, hopefully, I don't know if they will start, bringing generators that will remedy this situation. It's my prayer. But one of the things I thought about as I was, contemplating this topic tonight was who are the responsible parties to ensure that everyone is safe regarding the use of generators. So some institutions came to mind. The Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA. They are a major player. The Liberia National Police Force is a major player. The Monrovia City government, the Painesville City government, the Johnsonville City government, the Bonnersville City government, all the city governments within the locales are a major player. The Ministry of Justice is a major player. Then the legislature is a major player. They need to enact legislations, laws that will commit people to use generator only outdoors and not indoors if it's not properly, if it's not a generator room, not in the house, but outside the house. Okay? Locked up with iron bar all over the place. You want to put 2-3 German Shepherd around it, you can do that. But there must be no generator used in the house. So then, when we talk about the community awareness, when we talk about the education around this, then the community itself, neighbors, family members, should begin to talk. So if I'm living next door to you and your generator is on in your house, I should say something as your neighbor. Because we always say that society is built by the smallest unit, which is the family. The family, then the neighbor, then the neighbor, then the community. Then it goes on and on and on and on until it becomes the greater country. So we should be able, and in Liberia, and out here in America, you don't see your neighbors, you don't talk to your neighbor. Your neighbor next door, you see each other, just say you're a stranger. In Liberia, what? You know, man, we're friendly people. The children are playing all in the yard together. My children sleeping in the next neighbor house, children house. I mean, a neighbor house with their children, and their children come to my house. So we're one family. So if I find one of my neighbors putting generator in a house, like in an apartment at night, you want to tell me that whole big building, and the building is a big building. You want to tell me people didn't know that those people had a generator on in the house because it's all light. And usually, if it, like somebody said here, if the apartment had a rule, a rental law that no one bring generator in this building because you can potentially burn my building down. So not just about you killing yourself, but if that generator catches fire inside the house, my whole building gone. So the apartment people should be able to put down rules, especially when your renters come in. You should be able to discourage the use of candle. People don't use firelight nowadays, where you got kids holding the lantern going all over the house, candle going all over the house. We don't do that nowadays. Let me go to the line. I'll come back to you guys because caller from a 2640. Welcome. Please lower your monitor because if you're going to listen to the monitor, then you won't hear me. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. Good afternoon. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Welcome. You have a minute. Make
You
your
hear me?
contribution. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead, speak.
Hello?
Caller, can you hear me? I can hear you. Go ahead and speak.
Oh, okay. I don't know that. Okay, my name is George Cameron. I'm calling from Las Vegas, and thank you for the topic on the discussion. But what I would say, we as a Liberian, we don't learn our lesson. This is not the first time for it to happen in Liberia, and I believe it will not be the last. This kind of death will always occur because why? We don't learn lesson. People had died from the same thing. I remember a couple left from here. They went to Liberia for some program, homecoming, and some joy thing that they did. At the end of the day, they found them dead in the house with the same carbon dioxide poisoning. If you graduating from college and accounting, you want to tell me you don't get no idea of this thing, or nobody has heard about it in Liberia that somebody died from keeping generator in the house? Tell me now. What can you tell me? We as Liberians, we don't learn. We don't even follow instructions. That's the first thing. Everything that the white man fixed to send it to us over there, it has an instruction. But we as a Liberian, we say no. We don't even care to even look at the instruction that on it. They say, "My man, I get women, but again, we overlook it." For example, I was a driver in Liberia. I will tell you, if I were in Liberia, I would still be that same stupidity. I would do it because I will always argue. I was driving a pickup truck there, and the car, the air pressure is supposed to be 40, and we don't take 40, we will put 50. My man, put 50 so it can be strong. That means we over pump the tire. Yes, we over pump the tire. So now when you go on the highway, the tire, and because we over pump the tire, and then we put a lot of people in the car, and it will cause accidents. It's not no we don't just pay attention. That's our problem. And then you go on every time, and you are putting more to say, "Oh, government." That government tell you to put it inside the house. You don't have to call the government in. It's not the government, that your own self stupidity. So thank you so much. Let's continue to echo the thing because, like I said to you, if I were in Nigeria, we all were doing the same thing. We can't learn. We cannot learn. We cannot learn. It happens so many times. Thank you.
And some people who think that this is so much of a death issue will want to say here, "Oh, why this caller is being so hard?" But sometimes we got to look at the hardcore truth. Another caller is on the line from a 7611 number. Are you there, caller?
Yeah, Buket, I'm sorry that I have to call back again. Say, boy, Dwali once more.
Okay.
And I just posted something on the last feed. It sounds funny. I mean, we can talk about legislation. We know the applicability in Liberia is very slim. So what I'm recommending here tonight is a campaign we can run. Instead of sending your relative $20, $50 this month, let's send them a carbon monoxide detector. I mean, I personally took some home when I have my experience and install it all over my house. It's another thing we can help them with the lifting. I'm saying you telling her, man, I get one carbon monoxide detector for you yet. You use a small AA battery, put it inside and install it in your house until we can find some solution in the interim. I just called to say that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dwalu. All right, so Dwalu is suggesting this, but how many homes will use carbon monoxide when they don't have the use of what we call natural gas or so in Liberia, except these isolated events where a person would take the generator knowingly know that it says on the generator, "Do not use indoors," and they still go and do it. So Dwalu, good suggestion, but at the end of the day, the carbon monoxide detectors will not help because even when they put it in a house and it start to beep, they'll say, "But what I think they're beeping for? Go take out the battery from inside here. It beeping too much, making noise here. People trying to watch the movie, then they think they're making noise here. Why you just making noise for? You go move that thing from inside there." And you know that how Liberians can think, that's how they would think. But as I was saying earlier before the caller called and I had to go to the caller. So we need to make legislations, laws that will make it punishable by fines and including jail time if you go to work knowingly know that you're going to take generator and put it in the house. So the neighbors can call the police, and the police can arrest you for doing that. Because you're not only endangering yourself and your family, but you're endangering the neighbors. And especially if you got kids in the house. So imagine the two little girls who died. Isn't that child negligence? My people, y'all know now we're in America. Isn't that child negligence? Is that the right way to put it? Two little innocent girls died when grown-ups supposed to be thinking. Grown-ups supposed to be thinking. the child endangerment. That's the right way to put it, child endangerment. So little children died. So that's where neighbors were coming and say, you can't do this. Or landlords were coming and say, you ever saw me put generator in my house for you to come put generator in your, and let it work all night? So that's the only way that, people will get the message. Because just talking, creating community awareness, but no weight behind it for people to be fined and for some people to do jail time for gross negligence, then we have a serious issue. We have a serious issue. So we need to pay attention to some of these things. So yes, the community education, the awareness, the sensitization, it's everyone's business. Everyone needs to get involved. But in the same token, some kind of law that would say it's zero tolerance. Just like we said, and people were raping all kind of way in Liberia. They were taking it for granted until they made it a serious law punishable. Now, to say that it was never a law, it was, but now it seems to be enforced. Even the song by what the boy named Native say he wanted to force the gap, but then he said, oh, you know what? If I try, then I rape, I'll go to jail. Y'all know the song, right? So even in the song, the artist now is aware that when you force women in Liberia, that rape. And what the consequence? Go to jail. So if you make use of generator in your home, child endangerment, property endangerment, community endangerment, all those things, then of course, yes, people will be afraid to do it. People will be afraid to do it. So all the time we try to say, oh, that the education. I just say here, Dwalu, you send 2 million, what do you call it, a smoke detector or carbon monoxide detector in Liberia. When people say now watching the African movies and the fumes started coming in the house because they're inside the house, even though they're awake, they know how the thing taking, going in the system. When I suddenly start beeping, hey man, I think disturbing, man. Go take out that thing, move the battery from inside. People watching the move, you show you everything just disturbing. That's what they would say. That's just what they would say. And they would take that battery out of the carbon monoxide detector because it's beeping all night or something. Right now, as I say there, I got 2 smoke detectors in the house that have been making noise. I just bought the batteries from the studio. I'm going to go and put them in there because we need to make sure that these things are functional. So for even those of you who are on the call tonight, on the show tonight, you need to also check your own gadgets in your home. Don't be the mechanic who doesn't own a car. You're facing everybody else's car, but you're walking by line. Or you're the carpenter, everybody's roof correct, but your own leaking. So let's start with ourselves. So the education begins with ourselves. But truly, 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 the EPA, the LMP, the fire service, LEC itself, justice ministry, city governments, especially city government, or real city corporation just running around all over the place. Painsville City Corporation just running all around all the place. They need to do a lot of sensitization. They need to go in the communities. They need to do the our people, one people kind of drama. Radio shows. That's why I say sometimes the radio station themselves, they just make me weak in Liberia. There's no community sensitization. The people all the time, they want praise. Everybody's a talk show host in Liberia. Everywhere. But they don't talk about the things that are critical. They talk about the things that are politics. All politics. But these are some of the things that they need to be talking about. Enlightening the community. Going from door to door. Just like Jehovah's Witness style. Talking to the people. Do you own generator in your home? Yeah. How do you use your generator at night? Do you bring it in the house? Yeah. No, never do it again. Never do it again. If you ever do it, they catch you, they will carry you to jail. You start doing those things from door to door, people will start getting the awareness. Radio programs and all of that. Dedicated time on air time to community events. But today, everybody, Jawia, 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 Samuel to it. Natama Gi, Bofo Chimbo, Yanka Koba, COP, CPP, CDC. That's all they talk about. Nothing important to rescue the nation, educate the people. Zegwe, muya, zegwe. All that. Where are you carrying us? Now we just lost 8 wonderful souls. And I like that caller who said probably the apartment complex need to start putting, or apartment renters need to start putting some ground rules down. Put it in your rent agreement. Do not bring generator indoors. If you're caught, I will automatically cancel your lease. But they're not doing it. They're not doing it. So my people, sometimes we have to do the one-man monologue or soliloquy, but it's important. It's important for our people. I want to recognize CIC, BWI, Saki, Ford Morrison. It looks like Ford Morrison is being muscle here tonight. RS Bangura, Gaba Jime, Caroline Wuelo, Justina Harris Bestman, Alfonso Cooper, Rebecca K. Tyre, Moses D. Sandy, Marula Moore, all you wonderful people, welcome to the program tonight. It is a sad day. It's a sad situation, but again, we continue to say these things that people sometimes take chances. And it was just one of those unfortunate situations. I've been thinking about this stuff, all day. And, when somebody dies, no matter the circumstance, whether it's their own stupidity or what have you, it's still a sad situation. And all we can do is to, continue to talk about it and hope that we can improve things. So one of the documents I researched, it says that diesel fuel and gasoline do not only pollute the air and threaten lives, they are flammable and can result to death, injuries, and loss of properties. So while we're talking about carbon monoxide here tonight, it's not just carbon monoxide. There are other elements. You understand me? It can cause fire. The use of generator in the home can cause fire. And fire can lead to property damage. Property damage can lead to injury. And injury can extend even to death. The Liberia National Fire Services, in one season, there were 88 fire incidents, bulk of which were from short circuit and generators, particularly gasoline generator. A lot of fires. Some of the places said the people won't put generator. Zing round. The zing round said can't even stand on 1 feet, but they got generator. What you want to do with light in there? Then you make small mistake, everything catch a fire. So the guys said, the fire service said the problem has been with electrical and generator. Okay, the two don't go together. There's some relatable death to candles, but now the prevalence has to do with generator. And one of the stupid ways they do is that when the generator is beating, that when they want to refuel because they feel going low, They won't stop the generator because they won't stop the movie they're watching, or they won't let the light go off. And it clearly says on the generator, do not refuel while the generator is running. Why it is true that people will put a generator in the kitchen because they don't want it to be stolen, but don't use it in the kitchen. You can put it in the kitchen for safekeeping. In the day, you put your little generator also out on the porch. And my people, even sometimes when the generator is out on the porch and you're sitting around it, you can feel some kind of way. You can feel some kind of way. Needless to say, you know, you can feel some kind of way. So I don't know why people taking all this chance. We really have to be careful. We really have to be careful. And there's no better way to say that we can't do this. So poor Nancy Miller, believed to be in her early 40s, was a joyous graduate. She walked out on Wednesday from the University of Liberia, obtaining her bachelor's in accounting. And later, within hours, she will be dead. Imagine that. Imagine that. The story said that Ms. Miller had graduated and her family have come to celebrate with her. Have come to celebrate with her. I mean, the woman did not even have alcohol. Accordingly, there was no alcohol at her little celebration. So that means no one was drunk, to say the least, because there was no alcohol served. It was just, I don't want to call it an irresponsible mistake. I don't know what type of term to use it. A careless mistake or just a mistake. But we'll say, oh, well, the people were drunk. But there was no alcohol. In fact, the neighbor, Jefferson Latte, had gone to wake her up because they had planned to go out. She promised him that they would go out to go have something to drink, since the party was just a cool water party. We call it cool water party. But apparently she was tired. She decided to go to bed. The rest of the folks, they didn't think of anything. And that was it. That was it. So to use our viewers, you can begin the campaign. Call family members in Liberia. Tell them. Tell them. Because we're the ones helping to support those people. We won't be supporting them, then we end up burying them because of carelessness or some degree of irresponsible decision. So we need to continue to tell our people, don't use generator indoors. Not just the kitchen, indoors in general. All right, there's a caller on the line here from a 7703 number. Caller, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me? Good evening, Bettina. How are you?
Welcome, welcome. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Letitia Brooks Roberts calling from New Jersey.
Welcome to the
Firstly, I want
program.
to say, great job. You're doing a good job all by yourself. I see Mr. Garley has left you all alone, but you're doing great. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you, my man. My man left me in the middle of the river, but I got to paddle the canoe tonight.
Exactly.
Yeah, but he will be back soon.
You're holding your own. You're
Yeah, he
holding
will be
your
back
own.
soon. I know
In all
everyone misses
seriousness,
Ashford, even me, but he will be back soon.
yeah, no, it's okay. I understand. People got things to do. I'm happy that you have you to keep the show going on. So that's a good thing to keep our audience engaged. I want to give a moment of silence to the family, the bereaved family and community. When I woke up, I was on my way to work when I just happened to peruse Facebook before getting in, and I saw the I think it was already over when I watched it. It was a replay I watched from Frontage, Africa, and to see the people at the People's House at that time, the ambulance had not come, and everybody was, guessing what was happening. But, as you have laid out all of what happened, all of the carelessness, all of the, best practices, I just want to, from the tape I watched on the young lady, she was so humble. She thinks, she learned at school. I heard her say she would watch the LU bus. In fact, she was sick at one point when she first enrolled into LU. She had to come out. And 2 years later, she came back from the state bush, and she would watch the bus go by and just say, I wish, I could be in this school. And her relatives would tell her, one day you will be in that school. One day, like encourage her dream. And she held on. As we all know how hard it is. I didn't go to college in Liberia, but I know it's hard even going at elementary, like a child, where someone is responsible for you, let alone when you're responsible for yourself. And to have completed her education and this happened. But what I want to say is, rather than, yes, we should have an awareness issue, but this is a prominent issue, and in conjunction with the with using these methods of electricity, the barbed wire, the windows.
Oh,
When
that's
somebody's
another
running behind you in a house, if
that's
somebody's
another
trying to
major
chase
thing.
you,
That's another major thing. When
yeah,
fire breaks up,
all of the windows are sealed.
yep, yep. That's a whole nother
Okay.
topic.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, and to the point where myself raised the issue about bringing the carbon monoxide alert, those the things that we use here in the home.
Yeah.
But in addition to that, people say don't blame government. We're not blaming government. There's so many rules, there's so many laws, so many things. Who's enforcing them? That is the question.
Thank you, Lady.
We have
We're
people
running
here.
out of time.
Yes. Okay. Just before I go, somebody say, "Oh, put this law into place." But if you put the laws in and no one enforces it, then what good is it? So there's so many things. I just want to, extend my heartfelt sympathy to the family, the community, and to the country. We have to employ people in these different works of jobs that have experiences that can bring suggestions. Can we implement this? People can just take jobs and don't do anything. I want to thank you for Ken. I will let you go because of time, and
Thank you.
I just wanted to share my frustration and my sadness.
Thank you.
Have
Thank
a
you.
great evening.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you just joining us, this is Ashford Garley Live here on Bridge Radio Africa with Volcano Shelton, the co-host of the program. Tonight we've been discussing the numerous deaths around the use of generators in the country, and as a result of those deaths, whether generator or sitting in your car for a prolonged period, is caused by carbon monoxide poisoning from the fumes emanating out of the generators or from your car exhaust. Um, this is not a new phenomenon. Someone said this is not the last. It will happen. It's just that it's sad that it happened on a grand scale, having 8 people lost their lives to this tragic, situation. So, Mr. President, Dr. George Manawia, I understand you're very busy right now on your county tour, but please, man, when you get back, call the LEC managing director and ask him what happened now that Corin can come all over this place here so that people can put a generator thing away. When I was growing up, I didn't know no generator in Liberia. I never knew generator. I truly never knew. Any of us who grew up in the 80s and the 70s to the 80s, we don't remember anything called generator like that. Not a generator was not around, but portable generator all over the place. No way. It was industrial generators. So please, Mr. President, call your LEC people. Whatever the case, call your man Toy. You put some money in LEC and let put covering around the place. You already brought street lights. I heard that they say the street light now they cause that some of the transformer blowing up because they went and tie all the street light on some of the community transformer, and so now they're having problems. I know y'all want to do some things for the betterment of the country, but we can do quick fix thing. Liberia is 174 years old. We can't do quick fix thing. We can't continue to 30 years gone by. We still don't have electricity. Electricity that is what I would say constant and around Monrovia and its environs. We even got electricity around Monrovia and environs. Needless to say, before we go to Johnsonville, to Mount Barkley, to Bensonville, White Plains, all the places, Kakata, then all the way. So what we're doing now, why we come to power? But when we take all the money for the country on salary, the whole budget go to salary. Every day we pay these people. What some of these people then doing that they must be making $12,000? Educate a man like me, he making $12,000 a month. In a poor country, why so many people are making $12,000 for what thing? What are they doing? So how many dollars per hour? But when you take all that money and give it to people, call it salary, then how will you provide the amenities? Now, those people who making $12,000 plus, they're able to buy the generator, put big fence all the buffer chimmer. I saw a house on GSA Road at Jack. Because of my neighborhood, that's where I grew up. Right? But they're able to put big fence up, fence higher than the wall between America and Mexico that President Trump was building. They will build a generator home outside. They get a big KVA. Then they run the lines way to the house, almost another 300 feet away. So they don't have to deal with that issue. They don't have to deal with that issue. So that's why they don't care. But if people making enough for them to struggle to like the regular people in the country, then everybody will get to talk about this scoring business. But when you give a legislator 900 gallons of fuel to go where? Some of them don't even go to the constituencies, the places that put them in the house. They don't even go back there. They don't even have local offices in these places. But then when you pay them that kind of money and get them gasoline on top of it or fuel on top of it, 900 a gallon, what do you think gonna happen? They won't care. They won't be bothered. Because the man got covering home all day. He got refrigerator to refrigerate food just like we do here in America. He got washer and dryer. The man got freezer, flat screen TV, air conditioner all around the house. How will he care about the regular people? How? So this is the reason why we continue to have these issues. And as a president, Mr. President, for every one citizen of yours that died, especially in this kind of circumstance, should weep your heart. It should be of a matter of concern as a leader. So please, after your county tour, call your LEC managing director, check with them what's going on so we can improve our city, bring constant electricity. It is a shame for that country. We can't continue to stay in the dark. In the dark. Apparently, you saw the dark yourself, Mr. President. That's why you thought to bring some street lights. Just so the people, now here they say the children are going on the street light to study. So they're leaving their homes, all in the low bypass and alleys to come on the main road, to come study. What is that? I know you're capable. I know you're capable, President Weah. I know you're capable. And I know some of these things you really want to address them. But please address them. Don't let the people there that are hailing you and making noise around you fool you every day. Don't let them fool you. You know where you came from. You know the suffering you went through. So try. Try for the LEC thing. Try for the water thing. Because the country will never go forward without constant electricity that would generate the kind of power in the industry to move our country forward. We cannot even manufacture indoors or in the country. We cannot even industrialize the country because of the lack of electricity, constant and capable electricity. Water not. Look at some of the water that people selling in the street. Plastic bear water. Huh? From well, not purified, people dying from diarrhea, dysentery, all those things. You all remember the name called dysentery? You know? But how long will it be? How much? How much? You know? So I want to end on that note tonight. I will hope that we'll continue to be prayerful for our country. While it is true that I've thought about how much more prayers can we do. But, you know, God in his infinite grace, at some point, will remember Liberia. Whatever we've done wrong, one day, he will say, enough is enough. My people have suffered. You and I know the story, how long the Israelis suffer in Egypt. And so if they are in their own Egypt, because the leaders are the pharaohs who got the Liberian people in their own Egypt in Liberia, one day God will say enough is enough. And he will free our country. Maybe some of us won't be around. But at least our contribution we make by bringing to enlightenment these things we talk about will go down in history. The Ashford Garley live show, my friend and brother Ashford, myself, the Bridge Radio family, will go down in history. That we addressed these things, we talked about them, and we didn't play lip service to them. Because we know that we deserve good as a people. We truly deserve good. We truly deserve good. And one day, that good will be enjoyed by every Liberian. Like Martin Luther King said, from the mountaintop to the valley low, from Manimba to the shores of Monrovia, Robertsport, Harper, the interiors of Lofa, the rainforest in the Sapo National Park, the Kavala River, the Mono River, the St. John, St. Paul. Everyone will enjoy the beauty of Liberia. One day, it is coming. It is coming. I'm hopeful. Thank you all for tonight. I want to thank Top FM 105.3 in Zwedru Granger County, Joy FM 101.5, and Live FM 104.1. I want to say thank you, everyone, for being there with us tonight. Thought it was a good program. All of you who contributed. Sorry, my camera now is falling because I went to make a mess. I was trying to set up things here. But thank you all for coming in tonight. We appreciate your time. We'll be back here on Monday. We'll have a guest, Dr. Peter Vulele. You know, we've all been talking about library in Liberia. One of the things that's missing in the country, a whole country does not have its own national library. So a man established, Dr. P established an e-library online that is currently utilizable in Liberia. He will be our guest here on Monday to discuss the e-library, Liberia e-library, that's now being used by many of the universities in the country. He and I will be here talking on Monday. If Ashford is available, he might join me. Otherwise, Dr. P and I will be here. But it's a start. Since we don't have the money to build library, at least someone has taken the initiative to bring a library via, online, and it's now being used. And we want to say thank you to him. But we'll have a good discussion. A lot of you will expect to come back here on Mondays, because the discussion will be very, important to you, and especially for those of us who have family members in school in Liberia who have no clue on how they can have access. This initiative is very free. So I just wanted to share that with you. So look out for Monday. We'll be discussing Liberia e-library. Again, thanks for being there. My name is Volcano Shelton. Good night.